Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cave Trolls Reacts video. This is Jordan.
Hi.
And I'm Terry, and we're going to react today to the Batman vs. Superman trailer number 2.
Yes.
Are you excited?
I am so excited.
I feel like all of our reacts videos are super positive, and that's why we do reactions to them.
Just positive people.
I
Fuck Batman versus Superman.
Much better. Now we fit in with the internet.
He likes it, I don't.
No, I fucking love it. I can't.
love it.
It's so good. So let's start off with the beginning of the video. Bruce Wayne at the party.
Yes.
Oh, that was so cool.
Oh, I know. He just rolls up, and I don't know what kind of car it is, but
It's definitely definitely a fancy car.
Right.
It's older. It's definitely worth some money, and he was driving himself.
yes.
So like this Alfred might not be the classic, toting you around, doing whatever's
Exactly.
needed. I think he's gonna be the more militant one,
Exactly. Yeah.
like Earth One.
Mhm.
Shotgun toting. And I know they've
Yes.
talked about Jeremy Irons being a different kind of Batman. Picture Michael Caine, but younger. I was in the war with your father.
Yeah.
Shot some people, stole some diamonds from some random guy. Some people want to watch the world burn. That whole thing.
playing more of a part in like the battle fighting aspect of.
Definitely. Like more of a partner in crime.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Okay, so when he pulled up, I definitely didn't get the whole Playboy vibe.
No, not really at all. He was just. I mean, he pulled up. First thing that happens is Clark recognizes, or not necessarily recognizes.
Doesn't recognize him, so maybe he was a
So-
recluse for a while.
Exactly.
Like similar to Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
This is going to be like the Dark Knight Returns Batman, as we've heard. Maybe he hasn't been out and about, toting, supermodels everywhere
Right.
and showing off. I think this might be a more subdued Bruce Wayne, more of a philanthropist, like I said. More giving money, not going to random events, but
Yeah.
doing more of a political vibe, maybe.
Yeah.
And he seemed like he was a little, I don't know, not as excited to be there.
Right. He just kind of came up, was getting interviewed right away.
Right.
Didn't really seem to want to get interviewed. I mean, he was asked what he thought about the Batman,
the
and
Batman vigilante, all of that
Vigilante.
smile.
and he just kind of smirked. It was just
I think that so I might be reading too far into it, and that smirk was awesome. Like
It
it was Ben Affleck, but it was Bruce Wayne.
oh yeah.
I love that. But do you think? And like I said, I might be reading into this. Do you think maybe he knows Clark's secret and vice versa?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think he knows that he's Superman, and I think he might know that Clark knows that
He knows that
he's-
he knows.
I mean, the fact that he asked him that question kind of gives you that.
I think so. I mean, obviously you're to ask any big Gothamite, about
Yeah.
Batman, but the way that he looked, like either maybe he was just pissed, maybe he's just
Right.
like letting his hand go a little bit, but really
Yeah.
I think that he knows that Clark's in on it.
Right.
And maybe he doesn't know that he's Superman, but he's a detective, you
Right.
know. I mean,
That-
hopefully they play that up.
I mean, that's what it seems like based off of this trailer, that he's kind of more of a detective type Batman.
Yeah, he knows what's going on. He's also a little unhinged,
Yeah.
with the branding.
Oh yeah.
I think maybe like we were saying before, I think maybe that the branding represents him kind of taking it to the street crime a little bit harder. You
Yeah.
know? Like not letting it slide as much.
Because that's a little bit of a harsh thing to do. Branding somebody,
Right.
like that's gonna stay with them
Exactly.
and remind them that.
It's the Nazi scalps, man.
Oh yeah.
Putting the swastika on
Yep.
Christoph Waltz's forehead.
Oh.
It's that all over again.
Backwards swastika.
Oh god, that scene still gets me. But not to compare these criminals to Nazis, but I
Right.
think Batman's starting to see crime as crime.
Or do these heroes as the bastards?
But I think that kind of sets up the tone that he feels towards wrongdoers, anyways. With
Right.
why he's going after Superman so hard.
like
he's-
whether or not
he's
they're gonna
done
go
with
to,
it.
they're gonna go to jail or something, they're gonna remember that the Batman stopped them. That
Exactly, he's taking
what
that
he's done to
fear.
them.
Right, and I think, like I said, it's taking that Batman aspect, that vigilante justice,
Mm-hmm.
to the next level, and that's where he gets with Superman. Like he might be trying to put Superman down.
right.
I don't think he's trying to arrest Superman.
No.
No, he's trying to put him down, and that might hint at why he has that gun at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
Like maybe he built something with kryptonite. The other thing, and we'll get into this a little bit later, is I think maybe he might have made a mistake and teamed up with Lex Luthor at some point.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, at that party, he's definitely like Lex. He doesn't seem excited to see Lex Luthor.
Right.
But later on, we'll get into that a little bit more. So the next thing I want to talk about a little bit, Clark knows, but with that branding and like that hardcoreness, he's definitely been Batman for a while.
Yeah.
He clearly has a history in Gotham, as they're
Mhm.
talking about. And then it shows the Joker suit. And then he says the line about, freaks dressed up as clowns.
Right.
clearly a dig at Superman.
And a reference to the Joker.
Exactly, which hints that the Clown Prince has been doing stuff for a long time.
Right.
He's had some history with him.
He's had issues with it, and he doesn't want anything more to do with any
anybody else.
Right.
What do you think? Do you think this gives validity to the theory about Jason Todd becoming the Joker?
I do. That's like when I first saw that scene with Robin's costume and the joke's on you, Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been rumors going around everywhere about that whole thing. But,
right.
I think this puts more validity to it.
At least that the Joker's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He's not. Dropping my papers. He's not a new development in Gotham.
No.
This isn't by any means the first appearance of the Clown Prince. You know, he's been around. He's been doing stuff, and he's clearly had a feud with Batman, either killing Robin or doing some harm to him. You know,
Right.
maybe asking him to retire. Yeah. I don't know, or causing him. Similar to Paul Dini's Batman series, Tim Drake, after he goes crazy from the Joker, stops being a vigilante. He's like, I'm done with this.
He's done with it, and then.
So who knows? No hints towards Dick Grayson in this.
No.
We've heard some rumors of Dick Grayson, maybe a tombstone with Dick Grayson on there. No shots of him. It did have a shot of Jeremy Irons as Alfred, just one, going to war. Are you excited for that more militant take?
Yeah. I mean.
Do you think he's going to play a bigger part in this movie?
I think so. Maybe not right away.
Right.
We'll see him a little bit later on, and maybe in a future Batman movie or whatever.
Oh, definitely. I think he's definitely going to play a bigger part in the Batman movies as a whole. Do you think that since this is setting up the Justice League, just period. This is obviously Dawn of Justice.
Yes.
With the nightmare that he's having, we've had some people have a lot of conjecture about the scenes where he's in his duster in the desert and he's being attacked by Superman's troops.
Yeah.
I definitely think that this is a nightmare sequence.
Definitely.
To add, just to back it up a little bit, the toy that was released this year, this toy was called the Nightmare Batman. So I think that gives a little bit more validity to it. That this is clearly a nightmare. This is what he thinks Superman might be capable of.
Yeah.
My next theory, though, about it is in the second half, where it shows a little bit more footage. You see flying creatures attacking these soldiers in Batman. I think those are Apocalypse soldiers.
Yeah.
I think that's clear, that at least that kind of imagery.
Right.
Do you think this means that Batman knows Apocalypse is on his way?
Possibly. And like with those creatures, the potentially Apocalypse creatures, there's I'm trying to think how to word this. I think it's a possibility that it's Apocalypse.
I think that's going to be the bad guy in the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why we're seeing it in that nightmare sequence is that Batman knows something that other people
knows
don't.
about it. It kind of, at least in my mind, or the way that we think about it when we saw the trailer, it proves more in that mindset that he's more of the detective Batman. He knows more stuff. He's been around. He's kind of been doing more detective, knowing things.
Exactly. Kind of like so he's one of the few humans early on in the comics that knows about aliens.
Yeah.
Like he knew about Krypton, he knew about Apocalypse. So where the government might not even know that there's possibly an alien invasion on the way, Batman knows.
Yeah.
Batman's trying to stop it. I think this leads to partly like they have to team up and fight Doomsday towards the end of the trailer. But I think this almost leads to why he needs to put his feelings for Superman aside and team up with him.
Exactly, because he obviously does not want Superman around. Either wants to, potentially kill him.
Right. I think like you said, I think he clearly wants to put him down. And there's that scene where, Superman's fighting him on the roof and he's like, I could put you down if I wanted to. But then the next scene shows Superman saying, what have you done? And everyone's assuming that he's talking to Lex because then Doomsday shows up.
Right.
I think he's talking to Batman.
Because Batman potentially teams up with Lex.
I think that's where it went to. And I think that's the turning point with Batman and Superman. And I think that's where Batman's going to kind of realize that while Superman is his evil, like it's his enemy, he's a necessary evil to fight Apocalypse. Yeah. So before that bromance actually happens, I think it's more of a necessary team up.
Yeah.
Because Superman has power that Batman doesn't have.
Right.
The other theory that we were talking about was that Superman in Man of Steel was clearly sad. He was conflicted. He was among these essentially an alien race and didn't know where he fit in. And people were upset because, he did some things in Man of Steel, namely killing Zod, things that Superman's out of character for.
Right. And like we had talked about in the past, a lot of people went to this movie not necessarily expecting a good Superman movie because there hasn't really been like an amazing Superman movie that
In a
we've
long
seen
time.
in the past.
Right.
And a lot of people left the movie not really liking it that much because of those aspects.
Yeah, they were expecting the Christopher Reeves goody two shoes.
Oh yeah.
I can fly backwards around the earth and rewind the time.
Yeah, but
Amnesia kisses.
And we've talked about this before, where in Nolan's Batman, it was his take on a more realistic type situation,
Right.
And Batman in like a real world type.
Right. And
thing.
what you're saying is like that Man of Steel is that more realistic take on
Right. I mean,
Superman.
obviously he has powers and superpowers where it's not like a realistic thing.
But the emotional
the
aspect
emotional
of
things, the way he feels about everything that's going on, is a more realistic reaction.
Right.
Him killing Zod is a realistic reaction to everything that he was.
it. Exactly.
trying
He
to do.
wouldn't just let it happen.
Right.
And that's partly you've brought up on several occasions that Henry Cavill looks so different in this movie. Just
Right.
his face because he's angry.
Right.
Maybe because he's become like a pariah to some. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he did that terrible thing in Man of Steel. You know, he let a lot of people die. But he's also, you know, he's new to the superhero game.
Mm-hmm.
I think my theory is that Batman is the catalyst that makes Superman the Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Batman is going to make Superman want to become better. He doesn't want to, you know, as Clark points out, you know, he's like, don't you think the Batman vigilante is taking things too far with the branding? This is what he doesn't want to become Batman, so he becomes a better Superman.
Right. Or Batman sees this from the beginning and is basically trying to
Hold him
not
accountable for
necessarily
what he's
from the
doing.
beginning, but like later on might realize like, okay, like you are better than us. You need to be better than us.
Right. Right.
You
Like
have these powers. Use them in a way that like puts on like not necessarily a show, but a way
be representative of what we could be. Right.
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 Show people that we can be a good thing in this.
A good force
universe,
rather than just like vigilantes, right?
Right.
My example would be Kingdom Come. You know, Batman in that entire thing is fighting Superman because Superman's taking the law into his own hands, and Batman's like, you were supposed to be better than that.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be the best one out of all of us.
Right.
Same thing with like Injustice when, you know, Alfred calls him Master Kent. And you know, Clark's like, you don't have to call me Master, and Alfred's like, remember that.
Yeah.
You know, I think Batman, like you said, once they kind of reconcile their original differences, he's gonna try to make Superman the figurehead, you know?
Right.
Whereas Batman is really the leader of the Justice League, he's the tactician, but Superman can be that guy that represents the best of them.
Right. And I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but maybe I mean the fact that Wonder Woman shows up
Right,
at
right.
the end. Maybe she has some part to do with like what the hell are you guys doing?
Right.
Like, you're
Because-
fighting each other. There's this whole thing that's going on now.
I think
Like,
that's a
who
good point.
Like maybe like we said, Batman might have worked with Lex.
Well, yeah, might have caused it,
and
right.
she's like, okay, like he did that, but we need to stop this and like
Right.
team up. She might be the one that
The
gets-
catalyst for it, essentially.
Yeah, that
I
causes
think,
them
yeah.
to get together for some reason.
Yeah, brings them together, brings that, you know, the original Trinity
Right.
together. I think that's a good point because originally, you know, Diana was a representative from Themyscira coming to America to bring her ideals and essentially help, you know, and she
Yeah.
adopts their, you know, their customs, their garb. That's where the red, white, and blue comes
Mm-hmm.
from. So I think that's a good point. Like she's like maybe trying to make them the best of the best.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't really think about that with her showing up there at the end. Which kind of brings me to another point is the levity.
Yeah.
Excuse me, at the end, you know, with the jokes, like, you know, is she with you?
Yeah.
No, I
And
thought
he's
she
like,
was
no,
with
I
you.
thought she was with you.
Exactly. I don't think there's going to be too much of the joking until the end. I
Right.
think what
It's
you're
gonna
saying
be a pretty dark, pretty
Grim.
grim, yeah.
right. Whereas you have Lex dropping a couple jokes,
Yeah.
you know, as he does in the trailer. But really, I'll bring up that in a second. But really, like you said with Wonder Woman, I think that adds a little bit of validity to it because Wonder Woman's going to show up. You guys need to work together. Bringing down their guard a little bit, that might bring up the witty banter.
witty, yeah.
yeah. Which could open up the gates for Justice League, you know, with Green Lantern and the Flash. Them talking a little bit
so
more.
much witty banter between them two.
Exactly. So I really hope that opens that up again. And also, Flash has some really good lines with Batman himself.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they come from the same background of detective work. So
Yeah.
I think that could totally do something with that. What you were talking about with Lex. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say like Flash has that kind of obviously like Marvel's totally different from DC.
Right.
But Flash has that kind of like Spider-Man type witty banter with some
Right.
of the other characters.
Now, Wally
Where-
West usually more than Barry Allen.
Yeah.
But Barry Allen's definitely adopted that kind of mentality over the
Yeah.
years. He's become more of the jokester.
Mhm.
And I think you're right. I
like
think
the lighthearted type thing.
Right.
When something's going wrong, it's like, oh well, I can't think of a specific joke right,
right,
now.
but yeah, you're
like,
right.
He says
He'd be
something
the
to,
oh
like,
shit
lighten
guy, you know.
up
The mood.
the mood.
Right. And he definitely, tosses out the banter to confuse his enemies like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying there, and he could be that levity. I just hope they don't disregard how deadpan funny Batman can be.
Oh yeah.
Just with with the oh shit line or issue with you
Right.
delivered from Ben Affleck, that I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, me too.
I think that can be a good option. Just segueing off that scene, we were talking about the jokes with Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
I loved his little monologue with Lois. Not just monologue because he was with Lois, but that
Right.
little dialogue he had with her, talking, basically calling her stupid.
Yeah.
And it showed his superiority complex there,
Yeah.
which we hadn't quite seen from him in these trailers.
With his type of Lex Luthor that we're seeing a little bit of in this trailer.
Exactly. I think that was really awesome, and it showed the more maniacal side of him.
Yeah.
And how he's above the rest, at least in his opinion. Do you think that his cartoony act at the party was just that, an act? Maybe he's a little bit more maniacal, more methodical?
Potentially. I mean, he kind of puts off like a little bit of a Joker vibe from the Dark Knight movie.
I totally agree. It was
I
a little
mean-
bit more cartoony, a little out there.
Right. And
Chaotic, if you will.
and like he may have been portraying just a
Put-
little bit of a,
playing up an act a
putting
little
a
bit.
face up a little bit, and
Right.
then later on he might put up the mantle of being a little bit more serious.
Yeah, I think
have a little
it
bit more of character development in a way,
Right.
in a future film.
Exactly. I think it's more of a facade, like you were saying. I think that really he's this methodical guy, and he plays this persona because secretly he has ill intentions.
Right. And in a way just to get attention.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, because he is running
That's-
that company.
That's the easiest way to get attention is what obviously he's
To
what
be
it seems
crazy?
he's doing. Yeah.
Right, and also it makes him less suspect for the other things he's doing.
Right.
So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see his portrayal.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously he's going to turn into the darker Lex that we know. We've seen pictures from Suicide Squad, him being in the same jail.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he's going to be in that. Probably just a cameo.
Right.
But it's still, he's bald, he's angry. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to be a different Lex, being betrayed by Batman, essentially from their team up,
Right.
being defeated by Superman. I think he's going to be there.
Have that vendetta set out for Superman.
Right. Are you at least a little worried that maybe Batman's serving too many masters? No, not just Batman, but Batman versus Superman. Like, this has too much in it?
A little bit. It makes me worried for a future potential Batman film. Whether if that's what they're planning right now or
Oh, they are. They've
Okay,
announced
I
that they're
didn't-
doing a solo film.
okay.
But what I'm more worried about is just how much, Spider-Man 3 is going to be my example. Spider-Man
Yeah.
3 had too many villains.
all right.
Too many stuff they were trying to seed. Same thing with Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2, while had some good ideas, I loved what they did with Gwen Stacy towards the end there. And the Green Goblin, if he would have been seeded the entire movie instead of just the last 30 seconds,
Yeah.
he would have been good too. But they were trying to seed too many future movies.
Yeah.
Do you think Batman vs. Superman, introducing Wonder Woman, introducing Apocalypse, introducing Batman's world, introducing the Joker, Lex, Doomsday, Aquaman,
Yeah.
I think they said Cyborg showing up at the end too. So don't you think it's too much?
In a way, it might be, but if you think about it, all those movies are coming up in the future.
It's true. No, they
So-
have to see them somewhere. I
Right.
understand that. But that was
And it
partly
makes
my
it easier
problem.
for those movies. And
Oh, yes.
to have that seed already put there.
I agree. I agree. There's a reason behind it, but don't you worry that might affect the Justice League movie? Because I love this trailer, but like I've
Yeah.
said earlier, don't you think it showed its hand a little too much? Like,
A little bit,
we've seen a
and
lot of it.
We have, and that might be
Just to
their
play
plan
devil's
too.
advocate, you know?
That might be their plan too, is to get. I mean,
Asses in seats.
right. That's one thing that I don't know if they've probably been worried about. Me personally, thinking about it, it seems a lot of people aren't as interested in this movie.
I bet
And
you they are now.
They are now, like
Right.
as we've seen, like the first teaser, and then
Mhm.
as like things have been coming along, you've
Right.
seen like photos for from the sets and everything.
And I think now that
People
we
have
see
gotten
the
more and more excited about it.
right, and now that
They're
we see
less
the
upset about Ben Affleck playing
right, exactly. Oh, it's
Batman.
I think that was fan outcry, but
I think so, obviously. at
But
first,
but with Doomsday now being shown again, like I've said, I hope they have more surprises on them.
yeah, and
But I mean, I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's
Right.
something in there. But people seem more excited with it. I'm just a little worried it's going to try to pack in too much. But if they do it right, it could be amazing.
right, and the other thing is they might have a lot more up their sleeve for future too that we don't know about.
Of course.
we're obviously going to be worried about it, but we don't know what they have planned.
Exactly. The other thing I did want to mention, so we were talking about Doomsday. There's a lot of theories going around that maybe he's part Bizarro, or maybe Bizarro is somewhere in there. They clearly get the DNA from somewhere, maybe from Zod. My theory, and what it seems like to me, is that they've cloned Zod, put in a fetus, from this clone Zod, and are ramping it up with the Codex, the original reason why Zod came to Earth in Man of Steel.
Okay.
That's what it looks like in that scene where the lightning's striking, that thing's pulsating. It looks like the Codex is feeding into this. So essentially, Lex gets his hands on the scout ship that Man of Steel, found. And he's using that technology mixed with his own to essentially Frankenstein and Doomsday monster. I think that Batman helped him track down some of that technology. Yeah. I think that might be where he gets tied into it. So in this movie, you have Man of Steel trying to essentially atone for his sins, and in Justice League, Batman might be trying to do that. Like here, I fucked up, but we have a bigger thing to fight. And I think that's... I mean, again, this is all conjecture. This is just what I'm getting from one trailer.
Yeah.
But I think that's where it's going.
I mean, the more we talk about it, the more I think about it. There is a lot more going on than I originally thought.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much going on. So maybe, like I said, maybe they juggle everything. Maybe these so many plates in the air that they all stay.
Right.
I hope they don't drop them. I'm excited for it. Really. I mean, is there anything else you want to cover?
I mean, I think you mentioned to me before about the potential evolution of Doomsday.
Yeah, I guess we'll call that our final thing. Doomsday. There was a couple of theories on Reddit that I were reading, and I was thinking this too. With Doomsday, people are saying he looks like Abomination from Incredible Hulk, which I can see it.
Yeah.
Or he looks like the Ninja Turtles, which I also can see. But he's a CG monster, and there's a trend there. I can see them following that. But also, I think he looks like Doomsday.
Right, I think so too.
But there's some theories going around that maybe he's continuing to evolve because, like I said, if my theory is correct with the fetus being rapidly aged with Kryptonian technology, that's what creates Doomsday. What's to say he doesn't continue growing during their fight, gaining either power from Superman,
or just having accelerated growth from the start.
Exactly. Do you think maybe he'll evolve into more of a Doomsday-esque monster, which I think he looks like it a lot,
right?
But more with the horns and stuff like that.
Maybe.
The final thing, which I just said final thing, but
the third and last final thing.
People who watch our videos know that I like saying the final thing, but really the final thing. My last question to you, since this is a Doomsday story, Doomsday killed Superman in the comics. Since they released this trailer, they clearly showed Doomsday. He's going to be some sort of big bad.
Yeah.
They wanted to get a reaction out of us. Do you think they're trying to get the reaction that maybe Superman might be in peril at the end of this day?
Maybe.
Because Doomsday is the one that kills Superman.
Who knows? They could leave it at a cliffhanger at the end of the movie, too.
They could, and I hope, with a lot of these movies, they defeat the bad guy. I hope that Doomsday doesn't die at the end of this.
Just maybe a critical
hit
injury.
leaves the planet, because Doomsday's left the planet before. So maybe he does super jump, leaves the atmosphere, comes back and kills Superman one day. Because I think that'd be a great Man of Steel 2 movie.
Oh yeah.
But with that, there's some food for thought. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Email us at Cave Trolls podcast.
Cave Trolls podcast.
CaveTrollsCast@gmail.com.
Yeah, CaveTrollsCast@gmail.com.
And I will double check and put it here. I'm Terry Smith.
I'm Jordan McClanson.
And that's it.
And yeah, we're gonna go watch that trailer again.
Yeah, like 24 more times.